All right. Hello, Metal Maniacs. It's the Meista from Brews and Tunes. Cheers. I am very, very excited today. I am chatting with lead guitar player from Castrator, Miss Kim, or I knew I was going to mess up your last name, Orellana, right?
You got
Did I get it right? All right, cool. Awesome.
Oriana.
Awesome. How you doing, Kim?
I'm doing great. How are you? Hi,
Excellent,
everybody.
excellent. Yeah, I'm doing well, doing well. Yeah, a little warm, a little hot here in Utah, but other than that, doing pretty good. I got a frosty brew, so that helps. Um,
There you
yeah.
go.
So you guys have so Castrator, you guys just released a new full-length album just this past month. And man, what a killer album that is. I've been really digging it a lot. I have to admit, I've been listening to it on Bandcamp because I ordered it on vinyl, and the distributor for the record store that I go through, it's backed up. So, with all the supply chain issues. So I'm supposed to get it next week, but
Okay.
I have been listening to the album and I love it. It's great. Yeah. So I can't wait to get the physical, because I'm obsessed with vinyl, but yeah, what a great album, man. You guys, it's brutal. It's so cool. I'm really digging it. And it's for those listening, it's Defiled in Oblivion. So yeah, just came out, yeah, just last month in July, like towards the end of July, I believe, right?
Yes, yes. We've
Yeah.
been getting a lot of positive, supportive feedback. We're all so grateful and so excited because
Yeah,
for
yeah.
what's to come, the shows and everything.
Nice. Yeah, I saw a really cool promo shot of multiple, kind of famous old school metal musicians, holding up their copy of the CD,
Yeah,
like Kronos, and yeah, like, oh, that's badass. That's great. That's really
that
cool.
is. That's pretty cool. It's so humbling and so awesome.
Yeah, that is great. So so Castrator's been around for a while, 10 years or more, but you're fairly new to the band. You joined just a couple years ago, correct?
2021, I believe.
Oh,
I'm
wow. So very new to the band.
Damn, I don't even remember, but I feel like it was probably towards the end of 2020
Okay.
or the end of 2021. It feels like I've been with them for a year. So
Gotcha. Nice. Nice. How did you get involved with the band? Because I know they're in New York and you're in Los Angeles, right? So how did you get involved with Castrator? Did you know them prior, or?
I did know them, not like physically because we're so far away, but through social media, and we've always, as female musicians, we've always supported each other's bands.
Cool.
And that's how they knew of me, and I knew of them, of course, as Castrator. And it was, to me, it was always like, I was always a fan of the band. And so, yeah, Carolina just hit me up and she's like, oh, hey, just wondering if you would be interested in joining Castrator. And I was
Nice.
like, oh, I was at work. I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
that's the best thing ever. It was the best. Yeah.
Oh, that is great. That is very cool. Yeah, especially when, the band approaches you, and that's pretty cool. I mean, and definitely, speaks, very highly of your guitar work, which of course,
Aw.
anybody, once they hear the album, that will know, that you're a phenomenal player. Yeah, very cool, very cool. And of course, yeah, as you mentioned, Carolina, the
Our
Perez,
drummer.
um she's the drummer, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so also Clarissa, and then of course the great Robin Marzin, of Gruesome, and multiple bands, and probably a lot of people know her too from uh merch tables. And in fact, that's
Yeah.
how I met her originally years ago, and I didn't even realize it. I bought a t-shirt, and then later, I think after the show, I was talking to a friend, and he's like, well, you know who that is, right? I'm like, no. Like, that's the bass player of Gruesome. I'm like, what? Like,
Andrew Ketta.
yeah, and yeah, Dakota, yeah, she's an amazing player. But yeah, I mean, and all of you are. It's yeah, I can't speak highly enough of this album. It's so good. It's yeah, just really brutal, old school, but very fresh, but yeah, kind of that old school death metal. I really dig it. And it was interesting too. I mentioned to my wife that I was interviewing you today, and she said, who did she play with? And I said, oh, it's an all women death metal band called Castrator. And she laughed, said that is the greatest name for a female death metal band ever. She's like, I love that. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool. I said, wait until you hear the music. but yeah, really cool stuff. So that's great that they reached out to you. That's really cool. So had you been, I know you were in Harlequin, back in the early, kind of 2010-ish, 2015, somewhere in that era, right?
Yeah, 2019, I joined them.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I was
Uh,
19 back then.
oh, wow. So what had you been doing prior to that? And then kind of after, in between, bands, were you playing in LA? Did you have other bands you've been playing in?
Um, Before that, I was in high school. I started playing with some of my female friends. Like it was a big deal, like the whole female thing, we thought it was so cool back in the day because it was so rare. And then so I started the group and we called ourselves Orchid
Okay, okay,
because
cool.
of Opeth. And it was fun. We used to play a lot of AC/DC, Pantera,
Nice.
Metallica, and we try to write a couple of original stuff. And yeah, and then that didn't last long because we all went to college and went kind of our separate ways. But yeah, then 2019, Harlequin. I think I met Tawny, the guitar player, through MySpace. I think back in
Oh,
those.
wow.
Yeah, and then we were like, "Oh, cool, you play guitar." We connected, and that's how that started. And yeah,
Nice.
we all had really good musical chemistry, so it was very fun times. And then after Harlequin, that was uh maybe like 3 year thing, and then I joined in Sentient, Leslie Medina, the
Okay.
guitar player.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to play shows with her band, with Harlequin, and I think that's how she saw me, and then she asked me if I wanted to join the band, and
Cool.
that was the last thing I did before I became a mom.
Nice. Nice. Very cool. What so when did you decide, or kind of what made you decide to, you became a mom, obviously, you have a young son, and what got you back into playing again? Kind of what was it? Castrator? Was it that contact, or were you starting to play again before that?
I did try to write my own demo. I have a few songs on my SoundCloud
Oh,
that I
cool.
have still to finish. So I was jamming on my own, but it was just for fun, just to express myself. Um, so I kept that kind of going a little bit, but I was more focused in school, trying to get my degree and get a job.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, I was doing that and I was posting videos here and there. And yeah, suddenly Carol hit me up and I was like, yeah, let's do I'm down.
Nice.
It's so
Nice.
cool. I thought I was done with the whole being in a band thing. And then
Right.
when she hit me up, I was like, I can't say no to this,
Yeah.
it's not
Oh, yeah.
every day.
That is cool. Did you find was it difficult at all being, they're all in New York, you're in California. Was that tricky in terms of kind of rehearsing and recording? Or, I mean, I guess in this day and age with the internet, and Zoom meetings like this, I mean, it's a lot
Yeah.
easier to do stuff than, you don't necessarily have to live in the same place. But I would imagine there's still some, difficulty with that to some degree. I'm sure sometimes, but um yeah, how has that been, kind of, yeah, I guess what I'm asking is, kind of what was that process like in terms of recording the album, kind of getting together, recording the album? Did you all just record separately, or did you fly out to New York, or kind of what was that process?
Yeah, it was the tough part is the fact that we can't jam, whenever we want
Yeah.
because we'd have to buy plane tickets all the time. But yeah, they sent me the tabs, everybody on their own because Robin's in Miami, I'm sorry, Florida, and Carol's in Ohio,
Oh,
Clarissa's
okay.
in Philadelphia, and I'm here in LA. And
Oh,
so
wow.
we all just work on our own, learn the music through tabs, and yeah, just from home. I had supportive friends. Nelson Miranda, he's in the band. He was in Gravehill, and right now he's in Stygian and Crown. And he
Oh,
hooked
cool.
it up with with the gear, and he let me borrow his Kemper and his software, and he showed me how to do it. And and Dan Gonzalez, he's in Gruesome too.
Oh
and
yeah.
he helped me a lot through Zoom when it came to the recording aspect. So I had them helping all the time. I would send him the files, and he would do his magic and send the stuff to the girls, and they would tell me, give me feedback, and everybody was so patient and so supportive through the process. That helped a lot. And yeah, I think Dan put everything together. Everybody recorded from home, or some of us went to the studio. I think Clarissa went to a studio to record her vocals, um, and Robin probably did the same. Sorry, I don't know the details, but
Oh
yeah,
no.
so everybody worked from home, and we had
Nice.
someone put it all together.
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, it's interesting because I in interviewing people over the last couple of years, it seems like that's become kind of the norm now. Is a lot of people record, and it's interesting. You have all these bands that don't live in the same states, same areas, sometimes countries, and are still able to put out these masterful albums. It's an
Yeah,
interesting
it's so
modern
cool.
technology. Wow. It's cool. So as far as kind of going forward now, do you have live shows? Do you have shows lined up? Are you going to do some touring? Or I know maybe a little bit difficult because of the distance between all of you, and but are there shows in the works right now?
Yes, definitely. As I'm sure you've been aware, we have Full Terror Assaults coming up in
Oh
September.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, September 8th. And then we have a show with Mortician headlining and Nunslaughter and a couple of other cool bands that I'm looking forward to learning about. That one's in September 10th and 11th.
Cool.
And then we also have September 11th, we're playing at Spirit. I should probably say where these shows are at. So the Full Terror Assault is going to be in Illinois.
Okay.
Uh, then in Cleveland, we have the Mortician show. And then, sorry, my alarm went off. And then Spirit one, I think, is in Philadelphia.
Okay, cool. Very cool. So
Those
you've
are the
got
ones I'm
some
looking
festival type shows coming up. That's cool. Are there any plans as far as the band actually doing a tour at all? Or probably logistically that could be difficult, but I would imagine. But
for. Oh, yeah, for sure. We
cool.
do have that in the plans.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna wait for the girls to release that.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to
There's
get you in trouble.
details and things that I don't really know yet. So, but definitely, it's happening. So
Cool. Very
very
cool. That's very
excited about
exciting. Hopefully you'll come to Utah, come to Salt Lake City. I would love to
Yeah,
see you guys live and be able to meet you in person too, which would be nice. But yeah, I can't wait to see you live. I'm hoping that comes to fruition here in the not too distant future. That would be
yeah,
great. And I'm jealous of those festivals you mentioned. I would love to. It's too bad I can't get out to one of those. That would be very cool. In fact,
yeah.
yeah, a friend's band from Salt Lake, they're playing at um, I just forgot the first one you mentioned. They're playing at that as well.
Full Terror Assault.
Yes, yeah, they're
Yeah.
playing at that. So,
What's their band name?
Arsenic Addiction.
Okay, yeah, I see them here.
Yeah. So they'll be there. Yeah. Check them out. They're a really cool band.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's really cool news. That's exciting. And yeah, like you said, I mean, it's just cool to know that, not that you would quit music, but that, you'd kind of stepped aside to be a mom and you're doing your thing, and then you get this contact and now you're in this killer
Yeah.
band and you got shows coming up. That's great news. That's exciting. That's really
Thank
exciting
you.
stuff.
Yeah.
I was curious if we could go back in time a little bit, and I was curious how you got started originally playing guitar or music in general. Did you come from a musical family? Like what was the impetus for you in terms of guitar playing?
Good question. Yeah, my biological father, he's a musician. He plays trumpet for us. Well, he played trumpet for this Spanish band called Silver Stars, and he's still playing music. So I think it was part of me in that genes type of way. Um, and I feel like in my family, everybody always loved to sing and very expressive and with music. And I noticed I always liked a lot of the Hispanic musicians where whenever there was guitar, I
Mm.
really loved their music. So that's something I really noticed.
Okay.
Um,
So kind of
and now I,
gravitated towards the guitar from an early age, it sounds
yeah, yeah, I don't know why. But I love drums too. I'm not a great drummer, but I can keep a beat. But
nice.
I just love music in general.
Very cool.
Um, I started in high school when I was 15. I remember um, I told my mom, like, if you're not going to give me a sweet 16 party, then just buy me a guitar and amp, CDs, and some t-shirts. So
Nice.
that's how that started.
I like that. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a very original the quinceañera, right? I guess was what would
Yeah.
be the norm. So, but you're like, nope, I want a guitar and CDs and t-shirts. That's pretty badass. That's
Yeah.
metal right there. That's great.
Yeah, and yeah, that's how it started. I started playing punk, the Ramones. I would just sit at home. I had no life. I would right after school, I would do my homework and then just pick up my Strat and play the Ramones songs, Havana Affair, you know.
Oh yeah, nice.
It
That's
was fun. It was fun to just figure it out by ear. And I remember to me, it was like this amazing thing, guitar.
yeah.
Like, oh, I can play this and make this sound. I was just always so like days. Sometimes I wouldn't even eat and just be playing in my room or in my living room,
So it sounds
annoying
like
my
you're self-taught. Did you take lessons at all, or just
yeah,
play by
actually,
ear?
I started on my own, and then I met people, and I eventually in college I did take two classes, one contemporary guitar, and then I took two other classes, classical one and classical two.
Cool.
Um, but I kind of stopped there, but it helped a lot for sure,
Yeah.
and understanding guitar more.
Well, probably just dexterity and speed, and I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, I mean, you do some pretty, and I'm not a musician, so pardon my ignorance with this,
no,
but yeah, I
you're
mean, yeah,
good.
you do some pretty amazing tremolos. Is that the right
Oh,
terminology?
true. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you do some pretty cool stuff on the album where, and that obviously you have to understand, you know, complex musical patterns. And again, I don't know what I'm saying because I'm not a musician, but I mean, just from my ear, listening to the guitar work on the album, um, it's obvious that you've got some classical training, I think.
Thank
You can
you.
kind
And
of
I
hear that
gotta
in
give
there.
credit where it's due to, like, Dan Gonzalez helped in the composition of the
Hmm,
songs with Carol and Robin. So it's a lot of it is him and them.
nice. Well, it sounds like it's very collaborative too, like a very, and it was that kind of to jump back up to now, I guess that's a good pigeon tail question. I was curious as far as the writing of the album goes, was it a collaborative effort in terms of the music? I'm sure the vocalist probably wrote most of the lyrics, but yeah, kind of how do you guys write? What's that process like for you?
It was mostly Carol, Robin, and Dan that composed the riffs.
Okay,
From what I'm understanding, and he also wrote the lyrics. And when they asked me if I can write leads for three of the songs. So I did write my own leads for Forsaken and Deprived,
oh cool,
uh, Purge the Rotten, and Sinister Minds. So
nice,
you'll
very
hear me
cool,
there.
nice, very
Yeah,
cool, very
definitely collaborative with everybody. Like it's really amazing
cool.
what
Nice.
minds can do together.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. um and sorry, I'm going to go back into time again. I'm jumping all over the place. But you had mentioned, teaching yourself with the Ramones and then, going to college and taking classical. When did you start playing, listening to and start playing death metal? When did that come into play for you?
Yeah, I feel like it started. It's weird because I would listen to a lot of classical, like Megadeth, Metallica, Sabbath,
Hmm.
AC/DC, you know. And then I started getting into more technical things, and I was listening to some deathcore in senior year, and that got
Okay.
me into like the melodic technical stuff. And then Lamb of God was the big thing for me senior year, and I feel that's what got me into those like technical patterns.
Interesting.
And I would listen to Bloodbath too, and
Oh,
Cannibal
great band.
Corpse, Dying Fetus,
Oh,
and stuff.
nice.
But yeah, at the time, I was having a hard time really quite understanding what was going on. Like it seemed like a lot, and then it just grew on me through the years, being in bands and playing bands and watching bands playing, and just listening to more and more albums coming out and be like, "Whoa, this is sick!" And then
Yeah. Right.
just through the years, through Origin,
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I mean, you named a lot of those. I'm sure it's probably similar with in terms of the bands and the musicians. But I was curious, like, who are your as far as your guitar work, especially your writing? I was curious, kind of who are the inspirations for you as far as musicians? Who are the people that kind of inspire you as a musician?
In the early days, I would say definitely Lamb of God, and then Opeth. I became a huge Opeth fan.
Cool.
Just how they transitioned from riff to distortion to clean, and from
Yeah.
growling to singing, and he was definitely like an inspiration for me. And this is a tough question.
Yeah, it's
You
kind of loaded, isn't it? I mean, it's
yeah.
it's like, yeah, talk about your entire life in one sentence. It's like,
Yeah.
I apologize. Yeah,
No, it's all good. It's a good question, and man, I feel like everybody like there's also just individual guitar players like Jeff Loomis and Keith
mm,
Merrow that inspired me. And,
yeah, Loomis, man, that
uh,
guy's tone, incredible.
beautiful sweeping,
Yeah, I love his tone. It's so good. That's cool. I love that. That's great. Um, so of course, the new album just came out. You guys have some big shows coming up. What anything planned kind of long term? Anything like, what does the next year hold for Castrator?
um,
Any plans you can discuss at this point, or?
I can just kind of what I think maybe. I definitely we want to tour. It would be nice to go to Europe, but
Oh
just
yeah.
touring in general would be fun to get to meet everybody and to feel those supportive vibes and just having a lot of fun, and banging while we're playing the album.
Yeah.
And writing another album, definitely we want to start
Oh, cool.
jamming and collaborating for the upcoming, you know.
Nice. So there's already been a little bit of talk about that.
Yeah, we're always thinking like, if there's new riffs that you can come up with or songs, and when we meet, we can jam. That'd be super cool.
Yeah. That's exciting. That's really cool. That's very exciting. Nice. So one last question for you, and I'll let you go. But I don't know if you're a beer drinker at all, but of course, my page is Brews and Tunes. I pair beer and metal. But it's a Saturday night. Kim, you're hanging out at home. Doesn't have to be beer, but like what are you drinking and what are you listening to? What are you spinning?
That sounds like a chill night. I have my phases. There was a time where I was going to breweries a lot, and so yeah, I like beer.
Cool.
I appreciate beer. And then I started doing wine. So these days, if I'll try to have a wine bottle once in a while. I don't drink a lot, but if I do, it'll probably be wine or a beer, whatever. Like, I'm not a huge drinker, but I like to do it more socially.
Cool.
And so yeah, it'll probably be red wine.
Nice.
Or I've had friends that bring me beer on my birthday, and
Oh, nice.
that's nice.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. And
What about you?
So me, usually beer. I'm a beer guy. So yeah, like kind of Friday night, Saturday night, if I'm spinning some records, I'll be yeah, a lot of times it's local breweries, a lot of local breweries around here. Some of my favorite, Utah, just down the street from me. Yeah, I grab like an IPA from them or a pale ale, and yeah, spin some Castrator, spin some Death, some old school
Nice.
death metal like Death or Incantation, or I mean that's
Nice.
that's a
Yeah, I
perfect
listened
evening
to
for
a
me.
show.
Pardon?
Sorry. I went to their show last night with Goat Horror. It was super fun.
Oh, Incantation.
Yeah, they played at 1720 in downtown LA. It was
Awesome.
really fun.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I'm a huge Incantation fan. I love that band. Yeah, I'm friends with the band members, and yeah, they're a great band. I really like them a lot. In fact, I saw them. I flew out to John, the singer and guitar player, John and his wife Yo-Yo put on a festival in June, which was the first time they had done it. It was in North Carolina and Greensboro. It was the Carolina Chainsaw Massacre Fest. So
Yeah, you
I
just
flew out to
mentioned
that.
that.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was
It's
incredible.
oh,
Yeah,
amazing.
I think Castrator should look into getting on that bill for next year.
Yeah, that would be super cool. He actually was talking about it. I was like,
Oh, nice.
that's been so much fun. Like, I'd love to.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I would love that.
That's cool. You went to that. It's so awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun. So, well, awesome. Well, Kim, thank you so much for chatting with me today. This has been a pleasure. And for those watching, please look in the description below. There's links to Castrator's Facebook page as well as their Bandcamp page. If you have not heard them, you need to get online right now, right this minute, and download the brand new album because it kills. And you will not be sorry, especially if you're a death metal fan or just a fan of excellent music, you will dig it. It is killer stuff. I can't stop listening to it. So
So
yeah, thank you very much. Cheers.
been a pleasure, dude. Thank you.
Thank you.